Good evening. You're watching us live from the Gambia Radio and Television Services, and this is the news file coming to us straight from Banjul. Also coming up, transforming the country's road infrastructure ahead of the 2022 OIC summit in the Gambia. President Adama Barrow made a surprise visit to assess the condition of the road networks in the Greater Banjul area. Hanakora maestro Tata Dinding Jabate dies. Now, Digital Gambia Limited and Excurve on the verge of divorce following recommendations by the Board of Directors to terminate its contract on the implementation of digital terrestrial television transmission agreement.
Plus, a Grts global company joins forces with the Gambia Police Force to inaugurate a new police intervention unit quarters in the Upper River region. Away from home, United States resumes evacuation of tens of thousands of Americans and Afghan allies from the Afghan capital Kabul, despite some safety challenges. And hospitals in Tunisia struggle with persistent oxygen crisis, despite the support from foreign countries and government's aid of oxygen production unit of the Tunisian Health Department. Details of that and many more coming ahead in this edition of GRTS News File. Many thanks for joining us.
Welcome to the news file. I am Fatu Janimbai and
I'm by Ibrahim Cham, co-presenting today. Moving on, it's great to have you here. Let's start with this bulletin with the executive. The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, on Friday toured several roads within the Greater Banjul area. The roads are part of the proposed OIC project, which seeks to transform the road infrastructure ahead of the summit next year. As we hear in this report by Mumudu Jallo, the tour has raised expectations amongst people of the affected areas.
The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, set out this morning for a monitoring tour of proposed roads earmarked for construction under the OIC projects. The President, accompanied by officials of the National Roads Authority and OIC Gambia, sought to see the roads which are part of a $50 million project that is set to transform the road infrastructure within the Greater Banjul area.
But all the time, I see this road on the map. I say, no, that is not the map. I have to go physical and see the roads. And really, I'm very, very happy because if these roads are done, they will be alternative roads. They will open up the Gambia. They will reduce the congestion. And now, we have agreed with the contractor. We have identified contractors. We are now waiting for no objection from Saudi Arabia. The moment we have no objection, definitely work will start proper. And I think that will be very, very soon.
The process leading to this has been long and arduous, but the President is optimistic that works will start in earnest after meeting all the criteria set out by partners and securing funding.
You cannot develop without roads. Without roads, there will be no development. The roads is a game changer. So we have done over 600 kilometers now. With this, it will make a huge difference as far as our infrastructural development is concerned.
These roads are some of the most strategic within the Greater Banjul area, and their proposed construction, according to the Gambian leader, is a game changer, as it will decongest the cities and allow the free flow of traffic.
These roads are about $50 million project, 50 kilometers and 50 million. And we have another road that is the dual carriage, that will be about 82 million. So combined, you are talking about $132 million. This is a huge project. This is a very, very big project. This is a game changer. It will change the life of the people, especially people who live around these areas. You have lot 1, that is KMC, and lot 2 is West Coast region.
The projects are divided into 2 lots, distributed amongst 4 contractors to expedite works. The tour generated excitement amongst the affected communities as people lined the roads to welcome the president as he drove through bumpy and water-filled streets in Kololi, through Brufut Wulinkama to Suguta, and later Serekunda Joko and New Joswang.
I will tell the Gambian people to cooperate with us, to support us whilst we are doing this road. Because without their cooperation, we cannot do the road. And this is national interest. National interest first before personal interest. I will call on every Gambian to support us, support the OIC roads, support the contractors, support the government, so that we can all fulfill this project together.
The president saw firsthand the condition of the roads, met local community leaders, and gave assurances that the project will be completed within the agreed time frame. For now, the people within the greater Banjul area will feel reassured that government is serious about tackling the acute road problems within this populous area, where movement from one part to the other can be a nightmare.
In the reaction of the people, you will know very well that they need these roads. These roads have been done years past. So definitely, I think the people appreciate what we are doing, and they are really very happy seeing that these roads are coming to start.
The monitoring tour ended in Suguta, where the president performed Friday prayers at the Central Mosque. Modu Jallo, GRTS News.
And from there, now moving on, the Board of Directors of Digital Gambia Limited, a subsidiary of the Gambia Radio and Television Services with relevant stakeholders, recommended the termination of the contract between DGL and XCAV on the implementation of Digital Terrestrial Television Transmission Agreement. The decision was arrived at of course, at the closure of a 2-day retreat in Kololi, organized by DGL. Now, this was prompted by many attempts to amicably address issues of concern in the agreement, but to no avail. Usman Mani was at the retreat and he spoke to the board chairman, Dominic Mendy. Take a listen to what he had to say.
As a subsidiary of the Gambia Radio and Television Services, GRTS, to provide platform for content service providers in the digital transmission process. In fulfillment of its mandate, DGL is tasked to work closely with all content service providers in the country. A Senegalese company, XCAV, who was rescinded by 2018, and in 2019, XCAV was again awarded a contract on a special build, operate and transfer basis to bankroll the digital terrestrial transmission process in the Gambia. The implementation of this project seems contrary to the contractual agreement, thus the convergence amongst others. In his address, DGL's board chairman, Dominic Mendy, noted the technical incapability of XCAV in deploying content services of providers and not fulfilling its contractual agreement.
Given therefore the predicament of the inability of our infrastructure investment partners XCAV to meet its obligations under our BOT agreement, we cannot but resort to hard thinking that is capable of generating the ideas that shall lead to a solution that must be capable of being met by our shareholders, and a management framework which promises or rather assures returns as a justification in the shortest time possible.
The acting general manager, Digital Gambia, Lamin Sedikan, highlighted the country's failure in meeting the ITU digital migration deadlines since 2015. He said digital migration opened business opportunities in the media industry with significant benefits.
One of the key targets is to have an efficient management of our ICT scarce resources, radio frequency spectrum, higher returns for all people and the country. At this juncture, allow me to look at the advantages of digital broadcasting. They include, amongst others, increase in the capacity of broadcast transmission network by improving spectrum efficiency.
According to Mr. Sedikan, the board of directors, DGL, should consider revisiting the agreement with Escaf Telecom of Senegal and come up with a roadmap to building a DGL digital transmission platform with its business structures and strategies. In her speech, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Amin Jai, highlighted some of the activities implemented by Escaf. However, efforts were made to address the inadequacies as agreed in the contract agreement, but to no avail. She called on participants to discuss and chart a robust roadmap for the success of the project.
To ensure timely implementation of the DTT project, Moisi, together with the management and board of directors of Digital Gambia, have made numerous attempts to meet with Escaf CEO in order to discuss obstacles facing the project and how to move forward. But to no avail, as he has never honored our invitations. Moreover, it has also failed to meet all deadlines set for the completion of the project. Also, and is yet to sign 7 out of the 12 annexes to the main agreement. This indicates lack of commitment or capacity to complete this project.
In their presentations, DGL legal expert Lamin Jabi and consultant Andrew Kisaka from Tanzania both explained the negligence of the implementation of the contractual clauses as well as the establishment of a cost-effective technical infrastructure. Usman Mane, GRTS.
Well, on to some sad news. Information reaching GRTS states that legendary Kora musician Tata Dinding has died today on the 21st of August 2021. The Kora maestro is one of the leading Kora players in the Gambia. Now, Tata Dinding was battling with ill health years until his demise this afternoon. Well, to shed more light about Tata Dinding's demise, we are joined live on the line by Mr. Hasum Sise of the National Center for Arts and Culture. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. Sise.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, can you please tell us more about Tata Dinding's life and times as a Kora player?
Well, thank you very much. Tata Dinding was a Gambian cultural ambassador and also an icon of the Kora. He played the Kora for the past 30 years here and abroad. Immediately he had given the Gambian Kora a very, very high international profile. He took the Kora to women. Not one, not twice, the famous festival in the UK. There was a time I even met him at the National Center for Arts and Culture. I surprised him. I told him, Tata, I thought that you were at the Dinding festival recently. He said, yes, you saw me. I said, yes. But really, he was this Kora ambassador. Now, coming back home, we made several albums, more than a dozen albums, and also was always engaged in projects, to promote the Kora. Most recently, just before he died, he had this Kora, Hour of Night, at the Senator Hall. And then, at January also, he, entertained a very, very large crowd, of the Menjo family, the manners and the sons. He was not very well, but he sat on a chair. I was wondering, why he had to do that. But, he spent 2 hours, entertaining the guests, sitting on a chair, looking quite good. But I think that was just a measure of, how determined he was as far as, promoting, the Kora and Gambian music and his concern. And now, coming closer to home, I saw that at the Christmas of 1995. And this story I got from the late finance, the first general manager of the Gambia television. He told me how he was looking for an artist to do the signature tune for the UTV service. And then he told me, he asked Tata, and I told him, I tell you a video, I come on record, take, and he did that. And that song, Gambia Amna TV, for a very, very long time, in the early days of what is now Gambia, radio television, tune of the Occan television.
Thank you very much for that short eulogy, as I may call it, Mr. Hasum Cisse. Thank you very much for your time here on GRTS News.
Thank you.
Many thanks for joining us. Boy Ibrahim, that was the Director General of the Gambia of the National Center for Arts and Culture, Mr. Hasum Cisse, there talking to us on, of course, the life of late Tata Dinding. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, still ahead for you on the program, the Gold Award Holders Association of Gahar, in collaboration with the President's International Award, on Thursday concluded a 5-day summer camp at the President International Awards campus in Bakau, where Janke Ture picks up the rest of the story.
This is the closing of a 5-day trial expedition summer camp organized by the Gold Award Holders Association in collaboration with the President's International Award. The objective of the maiden trial expedition summer camp, brought together 150 young people, is to help PIA reactivate its award units, especially in provincial Gambia. Mfamara Dabo is the chairperson of the board of directors of the organization.
To whom much is given, much is expected. But to whom much is expected, much is given. We expect young people to be agents of change in our society. So our program, from the President International Awards point of view, is trying to give young people the opportunity for you to understand that yes, there are potentials in us as young people.
The last trial expedition that we did was since 2009, which was in fact a grand expedition from Westfield to Gunjur. And since then we have not done any offset activities. So the initiative is done to bring gold holders, bronze and silver participants from all over the country to bring back the glory days, as the theme implies, rejuvenating the old glory days of the award program.
Exposing participants to different leadership skills, officials including PIA Executive Director Seni Drame dilated on the significance of the summer camp while urging them to utilize the knowledge gained from the camp.
The program is trying to mold you to become committed and responsible citizens, to take or advance the course of the development of this country to another level. It's a non-formal program that you will not be able to discover in any other program.
We want people to be engaging our young people in something meaningful, because we are in summer and engaging these young people, training them, giving them knowledge, giving them equipping them with knowledge and skills is something that we are indeed very happy of.
Satang Balde is a participant from St. George's Award Unit Basse. In her word of thanks, she assured that their gained knowledge will be judiciously utilized.
We have benefited a lot of things from this training we had. Things like public speaking skill, report writing, entrepreneurship, leadership skills, etc. We are so grateful to the team that organizes this program.
As part of the engagement, certificates were awarded to participants for successfully completing the summer camp, which included a 14-kilometer trek from Banjul to Bakau. The Gold Award Holders Association was established after the first gold awarding in the Gambia in 1986 to sustain and encourage award participants and also bring gold holders together to complement the efforts of the PIA. Jankatura, GRTS News.
Welcome back, and now to this trending story where tattooing is dominating an increasing number of Gambian youths. Now, it is the practice of making a temporal or permanent design on the body. Well, GRTS's Mama J takes a look at the health implications of the age-old practice, which is becoming fashionable among young people.
Tattooing is done by pricking small holes in the body with a sharp stick, bone or needle that has been dipped in pigment of natural colors. It is one of the oldest forms of creative expression. The ancient Greeks and Romans to use tattoos to brand slaves and animals, but was banned among the Jews. Tattooing was also practiced by Egyptians in the early 2000 BC. Collar tattoos became highly developed among the Maoris of New Zealand and was once popular as a form of adornment in China, India, and Japan. Tattoos were thought to provide protection against bad luck or illness. They were also used as identifiers of status or ranks of a membership of a particular group or organization. Ibrahim Fofana, fondly called Go VIP, is a tattoo designer at the Serekunda markets. He explained the process of tattooing using a machine to insert ink and needles into the skin. This modern procedure, according to Mr. Go, is safe as they are cognizant of sanitary measures.
Dangay tok madaji sa kanam puso bi nga gis ma soko dugal ci ki bi yep lañ koy clean ba mu cool.
Makara lañ ko dé bahal ba paré gaay tour ko gaay bahala ko gaay suma buna.
The most interesting thing is, tattooing is becoming fashionable among young people in this country. While Modou Lamine Kante have these designs for attraction, these Gambians based in France said they enjoy tattooing anytime they visit the country on holidays. Today, in the Western world, some people have tattoos to gain membership into a particular group or to change their status.
Mostly if you want to get a job, and a lot of people in Europe now, they tattoo their hands, their face, so it's hard even to find a job. You have to think very well where you put it and if you want to make it or not. So this is why I even put it inside, that when I wear still a t-shirt in the office, nobody can see it.
Tattoos are a work of art, but others have them to express patriotism and devotion to their loved ones.
It's like tons of needles come under your skin to put the ink in your skin. And this makes the tattoo last forever. So it's a kind of painful as well.
How long does it take to heal?
This takes actually about a week. You have to cover it with plastic and not put it in the sun and put some cream and never put it in the water.
Tattoos, however, are an interesting way of remembering loved ones. Tanya Happy, a German national on holidays in the country, believes pictures and other souvenirs could only be temporal while tattoos last longer and permanent.
I have a horse, like a favorite horse, and I have it for long years. I kind of like tame it, and she was only ridden by me. She was really wild when I get her. So I decided I make a tattoo for her, because now I sell it when I left Germany. So this tattoo is for speedy checks in the end. It's a kind of harm.
But there are certain health risks associated with tattoos if sterilized conditions are not maintained during the process. And according to health experts, contaminated tattooing needle can spread infectious diseases such as hepatitis, allergic reactions, cancer, and HIV/AIDS.
There is a risk that microorganisms could be taken from one person and introduced to another, especially bacterial infection, but also viral infections. So wherever tattooing is being practiced by anybody, it should be ensured that they have proper sterilization facilities, that instruments are never used from one person to another without sterilizing, because it can lead to various infections, both surface infection but also deep tissue infection.
Although some people admire tattoos, others have a strong dislike and criticize them. Whatever the reason, however, the pain incurred during the process of tattooing is certainly not stopping these young people from decorating their bodies.
Shift attention to some development news, where the Barrow administration has ushered in a new development for the Gambia, especially in the area of road construction and bridges. The government has also helped in ending decades of nightmare for the people of Kiang, who have been without electricity for years. Well, Aminata Isanyang tells us how, of course, examines how the electricity grid will boost local economy in Kiang.
The lack of access to energy, and more precisely, electricity, is a major impediment to economic development, slowing the progress of industrial growth whilst challenging people and communities. The problem has especially challenged rural communities, where the lack of energy is directly linked to rural poverty. Providing access to electricity is an urgent prerequisite to promote productive activities.
This is Kiang. For more than 50 years, people of this part of the country have lived off the grid of electricity. Despite that, they've lived a life not reliant to electrification to complete their daily errands. Until recently, when the Barrow administration ended the decades of darkness in Kiang.
In Kiang, where communities have been greatly derailed by the lack of electricity, 2020 became a turning point with the government's launch of a major electricity grid covering the entire Lower River region. Communities here lost all hope, but the Barrow administration has restored hope in Kiang. The chief of Kiang Central, Alhaji Dembasanyang, told Grts whilst hailing developments ushered in by the new power station.
We have been so many years neglected with power in this area. When the first republic came into being, we were promised that we were going to have electricity, but to no avail. The Second Republic also came, that's the highest time. We've been promised, but the line has passed on and went to other areas. Until recently, when Barrow came into power. Amazingly, he gave us power within small period.
Haruna Jawa and his family used to live without electricity in Sankandim village for many years. The absence of energy has increasingly caused obstacles and dim prospects in this community. Haruna's mom, Ajaya, showed us how the family used to arrange roots and set fire to light up the house. Access to electricity has completely transformed the family. The day, as usual, keeps everyone in the family busy, with women doing domestic chores, folk going about their business and children playing in open compounds. When night falls, Omar and Musa Jawa will gather their books to study and do their homework. Before the installation of electricity in this community, the boys used to rely on battery lamps to read in the dark.
I'm happy that I can study every day without using candle.
We visited Jifarong village in Kiang West, one of the communities in Kiang benefiting from the electricity grid. Residents are enjoying a new dawn with energy. Most houses are brightly lit with electricity. Families are now able to watch TV and catch up with the news. The area's hot temperatures will have been unbearable, but the cool breeze from these ceiling fans speaks of the positive difference that has significantly transformed life for Jifarong residents. Saja Barrow can now keep her meat for days without having to worry about spoilage. And Fatu can now rely on electricity to store food items for the family in her freezer.
The arrival of electricity here is a great blessing. We now have our refrigerators to keep our food, and the burden of not being able to sleep in our rooms is over. I as well do ice business, where I help invest in the education of my kids.
These community elders are now enjoying a serene space where they can listen to hymns of London Kinteba on a radio charged by electricity. There is also cold water for hot afternoons that makes these residents doubly appreciative about the arrival of electricity in their village. At his house, Abdullah Kinte can now plug his radio and tune into any radio station of his choice. He told us how the arrival of electricity has helped his family.
We can now charge our phones in our homes without having to go far distance. We on the lights when it's dark, and I enjoyed listening to the radio.
His children are now enjoying a drama on the phone, a vast difference from the time when phone batteries are reserved to receive only calls due to the inaccessibility of electricity to charge. On the other side of the community, children can be seen enjoying a game machine. The arrival of electricity in these communities has greatly enhanced output by enabling more resourceful means of production.
The electricity has changed
the life and the livelihood of the people of these communities. Because in terms of business, our women, they have been benefited a lot. So they are doing their business. We have a lot of refrigerators in our compounds.
Access to an electrical grid and better electricity services has also led to more efficient household savings and allowed the community to have more access to markets.
We are grateful to Allah and the President for this development. The electricity has changed our condition and ended some of the struggles we go through.
Ice blocks purchased from Biam or Soma were the only opportunity to drink cold water when the heat hikes. Even that comes with hassles and high cost. For kids like Mariama, cold water means getting it from the jar. But since the installation of electricity in the community, a family bought a refrigerator to access cold water and juice. The absence of electricity supply in particular has been an obstacle to entrepreneurial activities, and for many years businesses in this area resort to energy self-supply through generators at a significant cost. The coming of the electricity have seen the emergence of new businesses such as these welding and tailoring shops. The most common activity here, which almost every household engages in, is the selling of ice juice. For children like Saini, ice is the first thing that comes to his mind after a busy football afternoon. He now has the opportunity to enjoy it like kids from other regions. For the women in the fisheries business, electricity is helping them manage high energy cost. They are now able to freeze fish stocks and sell it for the day.
Business is now functioning rapidly. The women in this market now have a choice to venture into any type of business.
For football lovers, this is an opportunity to watch football when night falls without a power hitch. The benefits are limitless for the entire community. Even schools can now operate their printers without a hitch. School principals so used to travel to the campus to print examination papers for his students. But the electricity has given them additional comfort to operate printers in their offices.
Before, we are relying on solar, which time to time we would normally have a break. But with the advent of the electricity, a lot of things have been, handled, such as exams, even currently we've connected our borehole to the meter, which is now a problem of the past.
Rural needs have been greatly eased with reliable energy access. Besides the need for more cash power selling points, residents here have entered a new day. In the entire Kiang area, cash power is sold in only one location. This has driven many to rely on purchasing cash power from GSM providers, which is said to be more costly. But NAWEC officials said they can plan to establish cash power selling points in some villages to ease the burden.
The people of Kiang almost lived a life totally unplugged from electricity supply. But they are now growing to embrace a new atmosphere filled with economic opportunities. A historical facelift that is shaping lives. The beginning of this new era is gradually wiping off the many decades of ordeals and struggles that the people of Kiang have endured. Reporting for Grts News here in Kiang, I am Aminata E. Sanyang.
Well, interesting story there with significant development happening in Kiang. But moving on, staying in the rural Gambia, peanut cultivation used to be a male-dominated trade, a tradition that has been for many years. Now, traditionally, men in the Gambia are mostly engaged in field crop production and peanuts, to be precise. Now, this has been a culture in most communities across the country until recently, when narratives are changing, surely, but women are also into the same form of agricultural production. Well, our correspondent in the North Bank region, Farmer Kanyi, traveled to the community of Yalal Tangkong Jala, where he visited a lady who has been venturing into that form of agriculture for many years. Now, as we hear in this report, the lady's years of hard work is yielding dividend despite the lack of support. She represents a greater majority of women farmers in other parts of the region who are involved in the same form of agriculture.
Deep inside the hinterland,
In the village of Yalal Tankonjala, Jenabanjai, a smallholder farmer, and her children are on a routine weeding exercise. The clouds are forming and the chances of rain for the day are also high. But the thunderstorm is never distraction. Rural women will always set the difference in the field. For all these many years, the variance in opportunities have always been at their disadvantage. To most of them, peanut is equivalent to gold. Beneath the soil where they grow lies the hard work and months of endurance, but survival for the family is where everything ends. Traditionally, women from this part of the country must have their own fields every other season, a cultural norm mostly associated to polygamous families. I started cultivating peanuts since when I was newly married. Up to today, I do the work with my little children, but because of my power, I am still a smallholder farmer. Here, the cultures put men at the height of the family. Mostly at the village square, many will consume half of their day, and women must work hard to provide the means in keeping the home. Any form of hard work for the family is seen as pride and a yardstick to measure the fruitfulness of a woman's marriage. If the government can help us with loans at the beginning of the season, that will definitely do us a great help. We can use that money to buy inputs and tools, but without that, agriculture will always remain a difficult trade for the poor farmer. Adjacent to our farm, these two boys are also helping their mother. Children here are seen as a great source of labor, another reason behind large family sizes in the rural Gambia. Though my proceeds are small, but that's what I use to finance my children's education and also support my husband for the day-to-day running of the family. Due to continuous cultivation, most agricultural lands in the rural areas have been seriously degraded over time. For some farmers with limited alternatives, chemical fertilizers are the only deal to boost productivity. At the beginning of the cropping season, the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Agriculture and its development partners have made series of interventions to ease farmers' access to fertilizers. But still some farmers, such as Jenaba and those within her category, still struggle to get a bag. For the news, I am Farmer Akani.
Well, our Farmer Akani there. Now still ahead for you on the program, Gach Global Company in partnership with the management of the Gambia Police Force has inaugurated a new police intervention unit quarters in the Upper River region, which is funded by the Chief Executive Officer of Gach Global Company, Abubakar Jawara. The ceremony was presided by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Modu Sow, together with all the top officials of the police personnel. Well, Saidu Kamara tells us more.
Gach Global has joined collaboration with the Gambia Police Force to build this massive structure. It is the new residential building and headquarters of the Police Intervention Unit in the Upper River region, entirely funded by Abubakar Jawara, the CEO of Gach Global Company, which is working with regional police to provide conducive housing facilities and accommodation working environment for the men and women in uniform in the Upper River region. The Regional Police Commissioner in the Upper River region, Esa Baji, commended the CEO of Gach Global for supporting the police with viable quarters that will create a conducive environment for his officers to conduct their duties. Commissioner Baji said the geographical location of the Upper River region requires concerted efforts to maintain security and eliminate the crime.
Having said this, I would like us to give a big round of applause to CEO of GAJ, Alhaji Abubakar Jawara. A patriotic Gambian, Jawara's love for this country is undoubtable. He is an icon to inspire and emulate. And I would like to thank my para commandos for being the most patient commandos for the simple reason they were squeezed in 2 single rooms together with their commander. That's the situation I found these gallant and patient commandos facing. However, after living through the bad and old days, we now have a brand new headquarters for PIU intervention, that is the PIU.
GAJ Global Representative Yusufa Jawara said Abubakar Jawara intervention to provide a suitable quarters for the police intervention unit is a demonstration of patriotism and strong commitment to development and nation building.
My brother is just doing what is expected of him as a good citizen and a patriot. His high expectation and the building will go a long way in making the environment conducive for our police service members in Basse to do their jobs effectively and efficiently.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Moduso, recalled the difficulties security personnel encounter in accessing accommodation. He acknowledged the importance of collaboration in ensuring effective security, protecting lives and properties.
And I continue to urge the servicemen and women within this region here to have partnership, to have collaborators. When you have partners, you have collaborators, you will always continue to inaugurate this one, the next one, the next one, the next one until the end of time. There is no security organism in this whole world that is 100% effective, but the one that enjoys the love, the respect of his population is the most effective. Because this is a shining example. If there was no love, there is no respect, there is no collaboration, the person who sponsored this will not put a dime in an edifice like this.
DIG So added that the achievements of development goals cannot be realized without security, which he described as a collective responsibility for all citizens. The Honorable Member for Basse Constituency and the Alcala of Basse, Mohamed Magazi and Seluba, respectively, described the PIU as a vital pillar of police security, which provides close protection to communities and property. He hailed the new facility as a vital base, noting that the structure will create an enabling environment for security personnel to execute their duties. A minute of silence and prayer was observed for the late IGP, who laid the foundation stone for these PIU quarters in the Upper River region in several months earlier. After the inaugural address, the DIG led delegates for the ribbon cutting ceremony, officially opening the facility alongside a conducted tour of the building. In a separate development, the GAJ Global CEO also donated 1,000 bags of cement to the youth of Gambisara for the construction of a new mini stadium in the village. Sadu Kamara, reporting for Grts News File from Basse Upper River region.
You're watching us live from Banjul. This is GRTS News File. We're going for a short break. Sports news is up next. Stay tuned.
You kept me waiting. I'm sorry. I was stuck in traffic. You know how the traffic is. How have you been? Looks like you're in a hurry though. I have this movie that I don't want to miss. Don't worry. With Afri TV, you can watch your movie anywhere and at any time. Really?
Download the Afri TV app and watch your favorite TV channels anywhere, anytime.
And I'll show you this application. There are so many channels. Okay.
Just dial *222# to subscribe and buy special data bundles at a cheaper price. AfriCell makes life easier.
Well, welcome back to GRTS News and to sports. Steve Biko are back to the top tier of Gambian football after trashing Jambanjeli United 4-0 in the playoff game at the Independence Stadium. Farmer Abaji was there and files in this report.
Jam City finished as the third best team in the second division, but still failed to qualify to the first division after the new GFF former Jeff Steve Biko, who finished in the 6th position, and they took full advantage to edge out Jam City. The playoffs, which saw 4 teams battling for the 2 for grab in the first division, attracted a huge turnout at the Independence Stadium. Jambanjeli had high hopes of defeating the Bakau Giant Killers, but Biko's speed and goal-scoring ability saw them cruise to a commanding 4-0 win. The indications were there for all to see how the evening was going to be for Jam City after just 40 seconds, when Biko's Modlamin Marom missed what really should have been the opening goal. Then on the 22nd minute, Biko would punish Jam City for some uncertain defending as Adama Bojang out-muscled the Jam City defenders to break the deadlock with a fine finish. That was the beginning of a distressing evening for the traveling Jam City fans as they watched their side concede a second goal from another poor defending at the back, allowing Adama Bojang to capitalize and make it 2-0 to Biko at halftime. Jam City returned from the break with some energy, but couldn't find their way back into the game, even though Malan Jammeh had a header saved by the Biko goalkeeper. But at the other end, Jam City couldn't handle Biko's attacking prowess as Modlamin Marom powered home from close range to put the game beyond Jam City in the 64th minute. And on the 88th minute, Biko sealed victory when Modlamin Marom made a clever finish to secure an emphatic victory for the Bakau outfit, who gained promotion back to the first division after several years.
This is not the old Steve Biko, it's a brand new Steve Biko. The teams that are there, they are the big teams. We will go there as the underdogs. The only target that we are going to look at the first division is to maintain the position and give the players experience and try to produce good players for the national team and try to market players because we have a fantastic young team.
His boys works better than my boys, definitely. They deserve this win. It's a deserved win, yeah. We're going back to the second division. It's where we are, so we are trying to qualify for the first division. So unfortunately, it's not possible. So we have to go back to second division and prepare ourselves well for the next coming season.
It was all disappointment for Jam City and their traveling fans, who will find it difficult to come to terms with missing out on next season's first division football, despite finishing above Steve Biko in the league. For the Giant Killers, they celebrated their long-awaited return to the top tier with their home supporters. Farmer Abaji, GRTS News.
And from sports by our Farmer Abaji, we'll take a quick look at our top stories once again before we end this bulletin of the news file here on GRTS. Transforming the country's road infrastructure ahead of the 2022 OIC summit in the Gambia, President Adama Barrow has made a surprise visit to assess the conditions of the road networks in the Greater Banjul area.
Well, Digital Gambia Limited and SCAF are on the verge of a divorce following recommendations by the Board of Directors to terminate its contract on the implementation of digital terrestrial television transmission agreement.
And plus, Gach Global Company have joined forces with the Gambia Police Force to inaugurate a new police intervention unit quarters in the Upper River region.
Away from home, United States has resumed evacuation of tens of thousands of Americans and Afghan allies from the Afghan capital Kabul despite some safety challenges.
And hospitals in Tunisia are struggling with persistent oxygen crisis despite the support from foreign countries and governments' aid of the oxygen production unit of the Tunisian Health Department. Well, that's it from us, from the entire News File team, and you'll join by Ibrahim Cham for 10 p.m. News Bulletin. Until then, many thanks for watching, and bye. We'll see you again.
Of course.